So I made it out here to where a friend of mine about 2 months ago, 6 weeks, 2 months ago, we came out here. We spent the night. We worked on some bushcraft skills, fire building, land navigation, and we worked on putting this together. I think you've probably seen some of the pictures. And yeah, no one's touched it. Pretty shocked by that because people tend to, although we are pretty well hidden, and you can't really see it from anywhere else. You have to actually be here on top of it or know what you're looking for. But my famous mechanics gloves, they're not here, so I don't know. I thought I had actually hung them up on this tree right here. I'm looking around, I don't see them. So maybe either someone did come out here and found them, which I hope they get some good use out of them, or I lost them somewhere else, which I hope I haven't. Anyway, yeah, it's a nice little area. We have a creek here. Down here in the bottom is a creek that runs, it runs throughout the whole area here, and the water's pretty fresh in it too. A little muddy tasting, but it's not too bad. But you filter it, boil it. It's actually quite good. It's good water. It's very clean looking, and the area is a nice, quiet area. I mean, except for the birds, which is nice, and you get to see some nature. Now, it depends on the weekends. You'll see people. You'll hear them speaking because the road goes around. By the way, where this area here is up behind the creek is so thick, people don't dare go through it. So there's a road that runs parallel to the creek, a good, I'm going to say 100 meters from looking at the top of the trees over there. It goes around and then it works its way back around this area, way here, and splits off into two directions. So, and you can hear people, as they walk around back there. But it's actually a pretty good little area to sort of come into. It's actually quite cool today under the trees. Again, another spruce forest here, and it's quite nice. It's quite nice. Anyway, I want to talk to you a little about something that's dear to my feet, and that's sandals. I've been wearing sandals a long time for hiking and stuff, hiking purposes. And I started off. I remember a vacation. My wife, when she was pregnant with my son Nicholas, this was 22 years ago, and it happened during July, I think. We went to Crete, and we flew into Crete, and we spent a week there. And man, it was pretty warm here, but it was super warm there. It was hot there. And I remember when we landed, I got into shorts and a t-shirt, and I threw some reef sandals on that I had. And I remember we got to the hotel. It took a while because we were, you were landing in one part of the island, the northeastern side, and we drove to the northwestern side to Retemio. And we got to the hotel. There was like a resort. And I remember we got in there, and we were tired. We took showers. This was '98 during the World Cup, because I do remember several things happened during this time. One was the World Cup. I do remember watching some of it because there's not much up to do at night. You get after you've eaten and relaxed a little bit, and it's so hot from the day. And it was called for the United States, it was called the group of death, because it's the United States, Yugoslavia, and Iran, and Germany. So the United States didn't win any of those matches, and all former enemies are present enemies. I thought that was funny. It's very ironic. But yeah, we can't beat you on the football field, but we'll kick your ass everywhere the way. Anyway, so getting back to the story. But I remember we got in that night and took our showers and just sort of slid my reef sandals up under the which I just bought. They were brand new. I slid them up under the reef's made in Brazil, I believe. They're a Brazilian brand. I slid them up under the bed, and I remember that next morning I woke up and I could smell something so bad. I remember like going all over the room and everything, because we had air conditioning, so it was quite cold. It was nice and cold compared to the super heat outside. But oh my God, I smelled something so bad, and I found it was my sandals. And oh, they were horrible. I mean, I had two things happen bad with shoes that time. Luckily I brought a pair of like running shoes with me, because I tend to wear those a little bit more. But I had to wash the sandals in soap and water every day, every night when I get home, because they stunk so bad from your feet, from sweating all day. But I had another pair of boots. I bought a pair of hiking boots. Yeah, nothing special. I didn't want to wear my army boots because I still had army boots at that time. This was just right after getting out of the army. And a couple of years later, you know, this is 89. Oh, 98, excuse me, 98. So I'd gotten out of the Army just 4 years before, I think. Is this right? Is this right? No, 96, 97, 98. Yeah, 98. That's what it was, 98. So 2 years, about 2 years. Anyway, so I put these, I put some stuff inside we had rented a little car, a little Italian car. I don't remember what it was. A Panda, that's what it was. And while we were there just to travel around for a couple of days, and I put them in the back of the Panda. And it hadn't even worn them yet. Just stuck them back there and drove around that day and really didn't do any hiking and stuff. And then when I pulled them out to do hiking, the whole soles of them had melted off. It like came out, and it was like the glue and stuff had completely melted because the weather and the heat inside of the Panda was more than 53 degrees Celsius, so it was hot. But anyway, back to sandals. That's the first story with sandals. And after getting back to Geneva, of course, I wore those around the house or something, but nothing serious. I had to constantly wash them. And then I began, where I was working, I began selling Tiva. And I like Tiva, but there was still that smell issue, but it wasn't as bad as the Reef. I mean, the Reef were really super bad. I mean, but Tiva was actually pretty good. They had these grooves on top, they sort of massage your feet. And we had, after my son was born, 9 months later, a year later, pretty much, we went to Normandy, and I wore them all over. They were called the Tiva spoilers, I think. I wore them all over the place. Everything we did, I wore those sandals. And they were doing really good. And I already had them before. I think I'd bought them when I got them back, maybe, or maybe right before that summer. I'd been wearing them a good bit. But I remember getting to Normandy, and she was like, Nico was 9 months old at the time. They wanted to hang out at the beach. So I went for a hike. And I hiked from the Casino Hotel, which is where we were staying at. And she was there at the beach. And she wasn't feeling very good after a couple of days, you know, being there. She was feeling a little bit sick, which we found out later on because she was pregnant with my daughter, Alacia. But so I left her there with Nico, and they just sort of hung out at the beach and slept. Matter of fact, when I got back, I took a picture of them, and they were like both KO at the beach, you know, sleeping. And but I hiked from there all the way to Pont du Hoc, which is I think it's about, I want to think it's 14 kilometers. I'm not really sure. I believe it's 14 kilometers because you hike along the bluff overlooking the ocean. So I hiked I think it's 7 kilometers there and 7 kilometers back. Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, I got there. The sandals, I mean, they were great. But as I was coming back, they blew out. One of the attachments on them completely blew out. So I didn't even get a year out of those sandals. I got months out of them, you know. So here's 2 pairs of sandals that I'd gotten. And I was selling Tivas, and I thought, I got back and I contacted Tiva, and they exchanged them for me. They sent me another pair, told me to just throw those away. And I wore the other pair for a little while longer until I got to Budapest. I arrived in Budapest. It was with the family. We were on vacation. Nico and Lacey were already grown, and the wife was there with us. And I got there, and you know, I had sandals, but you could smell them. There was some more Tivas, and they weren't doing too well. You know, they were a little stinky, you know. But then my buddies there said, "Listen, we got a sandal for you, man. We've been wearing for years." I noticed they were wearing sandals all the time, you know. I said, "These sandals we've been wearing for 5 years already, and they are great." And so he sticks the sandal in my face, and I don't smell anything bad. I don't smell anything stinky, you know, especially that cheesy feet smell, you know. And so I bought a pair. Now, I wore those suckers for years until they went missing. I think they're in all my stuff now. Since the divorce, the separation, about 10 years ago, I haven't seen them. But I did buy another pair of Tivas. Oh, probably about eight years ago, maybe, a little longer. And I'm going to show them to you. I got them on right now. This is what they look like. Okay. All right. They are just regular Tiva sandals. Nothing super crazy about them. But one thing about them is that they don't stink, and they don't smell at all. I mean, I walked out here today with them, and they're working really good. I'm pretty happy with them, you know. Something else about them is that you see that little green dot right there? That green dot. Now, these are not Tiva. These are Source sandals. They're from Source. Did I say Tiva? These are from a company called Source, and it's an Israeli company. Everybody knows them because they do water blood. That little green tab there, These sandals are guaranteed until that tab is no longer there. That means if you have a problem with them, they'll replace them or they'll fix them or whatever. And so, of course, I'm not someone who likes to, I like to wear things in a bit, but these right here are great. I mean, I've had them for a while. You can start to see now where on the inside of them, where the toes are at, the feet rubs, that's been worn down. It sort of formed to my feet a bit. But one of my buddies was over at my house, colleague actually was over at my house a couple of days ago for barbecue. I think it was Tuesday. And I said, listen, I mean, this is a product I want to sell. With our business, and I really like the product. They're not for free. They're about 89 bucks a pair of these out here are. And they make them for women. They make them different colors. This right here is more of a multicam color right here. I got them at a store here that was a tactical type store selling stuff. And because I wanted some sandals and I wanted to replace the ones that from Source. Then I saw them in their window. I was like, dude, I'm going to get those. And so I got them. I've been happy. I'm always happy with them. They go camping with me. They go everywhere with me. I keep them in my truck. So if I go somewhere, you do a river crossing, you take off your boots and you throw these on to cross the river and hang them up on the back of your backpack, just around camp at night. You can wear these with socks. You can wear them with waterproof sealskin booties, whatever you want to do, or wear them just your naked feet. And they're comfortable and they're very, very well put together. I like them a lot. I love them. I won't wear anything else but when it comes to sandals except for these, because they're just so well made, so well put together, and they're doing the job, and that's what's important. So I can highly recommend Source sandals for the quality, the guarantee, and your feet. They don't stink. They just don't stink. From wearing them all day, a couple of days without washing, they just don't stink at all. It's just crazy. I just don't. I mean, they've impregnated the material with the chemical or something like that. That's basically, it cuts down on body odor, and it cuts down on bacteria and that kind of stuff. So it's all built into it, and it does a really good job. I mean, it does a really good job. So I'm very happy with them. So just another recommendation, something else that I use that I like a lot, something that I hope that maybe you give it a chance. And if you have a pair, you're already there. You're already doing really well. So, but anyway, so I found the spot. I got here pretty quickly. It's a beautiful area. You can see behind me, lots of birds singing, this kind of stuff. And I'm gonna definitely come back here again to do some more camping. Last time I was here, it was pouring down rain the whole time. I mean, the entire time it was pouring down rain, but we stuck it out. We had a good time. Cold too, very cold, but yeah. That was good. Anyway, I want to thank you again for coming to my channel. I hope you give a thumbs up, a like, subscribe to the channel. Please leave comments. I'm definitely want to hear some comments about your stories about sandals, your stories about, and if you're a pair of Source, what do you think about them? Okay. So like I said, for the moment, I don't sell them. It's something I want to work. I want to work with that company. I really like their product, and I definitely endorse the product. That's for sure. I'm sure there are other sandals out there, the companies that make them. Like I said, I know my experiences with Tiva and with Reef, and although the Reef immediately, I don't, I guess they're okay for the beach, this kind of stuff, but it's not something I'd wear hiking and that kind of stuff. And the Tivas, I like them, but they didn't meet. They were good until I found Source, and once I found Source, there's no getting around it. There was no other choice. So anyway, listen, thanks a lot again. I hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll talk to you very soon. Goodbye.